This is the Qrevo S robot vacuum and mop from Roborock. I've had this device sitting in my living room for a few weeks, and every day I keep finding more reasons to appreciate it. Some small, some pretty impressive. I want to take a few minutes in this video to do a quick review and share everything I noticed. So if you're thinking about upgrading to a robot that does both vacuuming and mopping without much babysitting, this might help make your decision a little easier. Looking at the Qrevo S, what stands out first is its modern, minimalist look. The robot itself is pretty compact and circular, nice and low, so it easily slides under my couch and most furniture. The finish is mostly a clean white, which I personally like because it makes the robot blend in with my space a bit better, doesn't scream for attention like some of the older gray or black models. The docking station is a little more noticeable, mostly because it's big and tall, but it's also sturdy and doesn't look cheap. This dock is where all the action happens. It stores clean and dirty water, empties the dustbin automatically, and even dries the mop pads with hot air, meaning if you use it every few days, you barely have to touch the robot at all. From my experience, setting up the Qrevo S is pretty much hassle-free. I just plugged in the dock, placed the robot, and used the Roborock app to connect it over Wi-Fi. The instructions are easy to follow, so even if you're not techie, you'll figure it out without a headache. The app itself is really intuitive. It has options for scheduling, mapping out the rooms, setting no-go zones so the robot avoids tangled cables and pet bowls, and lets me adjust the suction or mopping intensity easily. For me, someone who's juggling work, 2 kids, and a dog, anything that gets rid of extra chores is a win. So the scheduling and hands-off operation are a lifesaver. Here's the thing about robot vacuums and mops. I was always skeptical about how much work they really save and whether they can actually clean without constant issues. I started with a budget robot years ago, and I remember emptying the tiny dustbin every day, dealing with tangled brushes, and having it get confused by furniture. This time, I was honestly surprised by how much the Qrevo S improved over those old headaches. Key features that matter to me. Start with powerful suction. This one has 7,000 PA, which basically means it easily pulls up all the dirt, dust, and even long dog hair out of the carpet and cracks between floorboards. I don't need to vacuum myself after it finishes. The house actually looks and feels clean. The dual spinning mop pads are another highlight. They rotate at 200 RPM, which sounds like a lot, and it actually does a great job on dried stains in the kitchen or muddy prints by the door. There are 30 water flow levels I can adjust inside the app, which helps when I want a little more moisture for tiles, but less for the wooden floors. You don't need to know all the tech specs. What matters is the floors come out looking fresh and spotless. One little detail that I really like is how it lifts the mop pads by about 10 millimeters whenever it senses carpet. This means I don't have to remove the mop if I only want to vacuum the rugs. Qrevo S just rolls right onto my living room carpet, raises the mop, and keeps cleaning. It's perfect for anyone with mixed flooring. Another plus is the navigation system using LiDAR. The robot builds a pretty detailed map of my home, so it remembers where everything is, doesn't keep bumping into chair legs, and generally makes the cleaning process feel effortless. What saves me the most effort is the Multifunctional Dock. After every cleaning job, the robot returns itself, empties its own dustbin into a larger disposable bag, which only needs replacing every few weeks in my case, then automatically washes and dries the mop pads inside the dock. Mop pads that don't air out properly can get stinky fast, but the dock uses hot air drying, so no mildew smell here. The built-in water tanks are also great. It automatically refills its own mop tank, so I don't have to top up water before each run. Altogether, the routine maintenance is way less than previous robots I've tried. There are some other small but practical touches. The app supports Alexa, Google Home, and Siri, so I can just start a cleaning cycle with my voice when I'm busy cooking or leaving the house. The robot runs for about 180 minutes on a single charge, enough to cover my entire apartment and then some. But this wouldn't be a real review if I didn't mention a few downsides. The first thing is obstacle avoidance. The Qrevo S uses what's called 3D structured light sensors. It's decent, but not perfect. For example, it's spotting larger objects like a pair of shoes or a laundry basket, but sometimes struggles with smaller stuff like charging cables or toys. Sometimes it gently bumps them, so I check the floor before starting a run. It's not a deal breaker for me, but if you have a lot of clutter, keep in mind you'll get better results if you tidy up before each cleaning session. Another thing to know is that, compared to some of Roborock's higher-end models, you don't get a built-in camera. This means there are no features like video calls through the robot or pet snapshots that some fancier models offer. For my own use, I'm okay with that. But if tech extras are important to you, keep it in mind. The Qrevo S also doesn't have hot water mop pad washing or the advanced flexi arm edges you might see on pricier robots. So, for edge cleaning and dried-on kitchen gunk, it's good, but not unbeatable. I noticed the docking station takes up a fair bit of space. It isn't easy to tuck away in a small laundry room because it's tall and a little bulky. If you live in a small apartment, make sure you measure out a spot in advance. The robot also needs a solid Wi-Fi connection for full app features. Sometimes when my internet dips, the app is a bit slower or loses some scheduling functions. The normal vacuuming noise is fairly low, but if you crank up the suction power, it gets noisy. I just schedule it for when no one's napping or making calls. One minor detail. The battery life claims 180 minutes, but that depends on the cleaning mode. At max suction, you'll get less, something to plan for if your cleaning area is huge. A few times I worried about the mop pads. One came slightly loose after hitting a thick rug the wrong way. It wasn't a disaster, but made me double-check the Velcro fastening before each use. In conclusion, the Qrevo S robot vacuum and mop is a reliable, powerful, and genuinely helpful device. It's perfect for anyone who wants a true hands-off cleaning solution that covers both vacuuming and mopping without having to tinker with it every day. The self-emptying bin, self-refilling mop, and self-drying mop pads are practical touches that really make a difference for busy homes. It's not flawless, especially on obstacle avoidance, but overall, the time and energy it has saved me far outweigh the minor quirks. From my experience, I'd recommend this for anyone with mixed floors, pets, or anyone tired of spending too much time cleaning. I will share detailed information about the Qrevo S robot vacuum and mop in the comment section, everyone. Thank you for watching.